Hello, namaste. I hope that you are doing great and are in the best of health and spirit. On that positive note, let's dive into our business of exploring the nuances of business English communication in this edition 1 of the English Review through WhatsApp. So, today we would be finding out which of these phrases, whether or not or whether, is correct. Or is it that both of them are correct? And if it is so, which are the situations where which of these is to be used? To be put precise, we would be finding out whether the statement, such as the match would take place whether or not it rains, or the statement, such as the umpires would decide whether the match would take place. Which of these is correct? Or is it that both of them are correct? Or is it that neither of them is correct? Let's explore. Whenever we are to decide whether to use whether or not or whether, first we need to identify the sense of the statement. Sense, in the sense that whenever we find that outcome is not fixed, that is, your final result depends on some choice or some other event, we use whether. On the other hand, if your outcome is fixed, that immaterial, come what may, at any cost, the outcome or the final result is bound to happen, it is fixed, then we use whether or not. So the statement, such as the umpires would decide whether the match would take place, is correct because here whether the match would take place, the end result taking place of the match depends on the choice of the umpires. So the correct phrase here would be whether. On the other hand, the statement the match would take place whether or not it rains is also correct because here the sense implies that whatever be the condition, whether it rains or it does not rain, the match would take place. So the phrase here, the correct phrase here is whether or not. Moving forward with some more examples. First up, we must decide by the end of the month whether or not we are going to do it. Here we are taking a choice. We are deciding whether to do or not to do. So the correct phrase here up is whether. We must decide by the end of the month whether we are going to do it. Second up, owing to huge profits, we will be getting our bonus whether or not we achieve our individual targets. Here the sense implies that because there have been huge profits, so whether we achieve our individual targets or we don't achieve them, we will be getting the bonus. So the end result, the outcome getting of the bonus is fixed. So the phrase right one is whether or not. Owing to huge profits, we will be getting our bonus whether or not we achieve our individual targets. Next, whether or not my phone will work depends on me finding a charger. So here the outcome, working of the phone, depends on another event, that is finding a charger. So the correct word here, it would be whether. Whether my phone will work depends on me finding a charger. So that's all that's how we figure out whether to use whether or not or just whether. So with whether there is another whether too. So what's the difference? I know very well that you all are aware of the difference, but when we go on writing, we tend to overlook this difference. So just to drive home this point, I am just covering this. So whether, as we have seen, it is choice or doubt between two or more alternatives or something true under any condition, that is whether or not. On the other hand, whether is climate at a certain place in time. Oh, weather and climate, are they the same? Well, we need to ponder that we keep on crying about climate change. We never have said or never have heard weather change, or there's no fuss about the weather change. So what's the difference between weather and climate? I know most of you are also aware of this, but just let's take a look. Weather is a localized phenomena in terms of space and time. So the scope of, when we are saying weather, the scope is very limited. It is about one particular place and one particular point, maybe a day or a week or something like that. But when we are talking about climate, the scope is much bigger, both in terms of area and also in terms of time. So we say about the weather of Bhopal and the climate of India. And similarly, when we are saying climate, it is just not just one day, it's more about a month or a season or a year, something like that, or a decadal, sense, something like that. So that's the difference between weather versus climate. Winding up, these are the references, and you may like to get back to us. So here's the email ID where you can share your feedback, and to get access to this video and PPT for free, you can either access them through the drive or the Telegram channel that's mentioned therein. And do spread the word about this by sharing this video with your contacts, and it's no heavy obligations, for you need not hit any subscribe button or ring any bell, but it's just an act of goodness. Keep sharing the joy, keep sharing the knowledge. That's all for today in this edition of English Review. Till then, God bless, take care.